So today I'm going to be filming another video kind of about how I'm feeling right now with the world, mostly about reverse racism and like just some things I want to say, performative activism and kind of sort of like cancel culture. So I tried filming this video before, but I really didn't like how it turned out, so I'm refilming it today because I really wanted to film this video earlier because it's been like a month since I've uploaded and there's been a lot going on still, which I mean I've always talked about this kind of stuff, which I'll get into later in the video. My external hard drive, I dropped it and broke it, so literally everything since I started my YouTube channel just disappeared. Like all of my schoolwork, all of my YouTube stuff, just gone. So I kind of like had an existential crisis a little bit, and I was like, oh my gosh, my life is just like gone now, all that stuff is gone. So it took me a while to like refilm it, and so I have a new external hard drive. I'm still trying to get back my old stuff, but I kind of highly doubt that's gonna be possible because I dropped it when it was running. So according to some people that I already talked to, they said you can't really recover it, or if you do, it's like thousands of dollars. And I'm like, you know, I might just take that L and just move on. I'm gonna try and upload more because all of my classes are online for school this coming fall, so I'll hopefully be able to upload more videos. And I say that every time, but I don't know, sometimes I feel like YouTube is just like, I don't know, it's just like different. So sometimes I'm like, I don't really feel like filming videos. I like watching other people's videos, so that's also what I want to talk about in this video though. I'll try to be like the big YouTubers and put like timestamps in the description box. I love to ramble and just go on about different tangents, so we'll see what happens. So the first thing I actually want to talk about were commentary YouTubers, because I found a lot of commentary YouTubers that I really like watching. They talk about a ton of stuff that I love to like talk about, listen to other people talk about, like race issues, social justice issues, capitalism, socialism, all that kind of stuff. I love talking about that. I guess I probably do sound like a hater. I don't want to say specific people because I love their videos, but it's like specific people I feel like are blowing up with their commentary stuff because they are white people. I'm saying that because I used to film videos like this all the time, like commentary kind of stuff. That's literally where Taco Talk came from, because I wanted to do different videos about topics people don't normally talk about, because that's how I've always been. Yes, I was younger, so I probably didn't say things in like the most politically correct way, but I knew what I was trying to say and it made sense. And even when I look back at some of my videos, I'm like, this really did make sense. Like maybe you didn't say it the right way or you didn't phrase it the right way, but it made sense. I like applaud my younger self for that because it's helped me grow into who I am today. If y'all haven't watched like my high school videos and stuff, I'm from the South. I'm from a really conservative town. I went to a really racist high school, hated it so much, and then like once I left to do online high school, because I transferred to online high school, that's when it like blew up, because there was a whole blackface thing with the Bob Marley Snapchat filter, if y'all remember that. I said it was racist. People that hated me and stuff said it wasn't, so I got all kinds of like threats and stuff. And that's when I was saying reverse racism isn't real, because racism is prejudice plus power. So like people of color cannot be racist towards white people. It's just prejudice, because there isn't a system in place to help us benefit from being prejudiced to white people. People did not want to hear that and everything. Like I actually privated the video, not because I was like ashamed of it, because I still agree with the things I said in it, but I just privated it because I kept getting so many like comments, evil comments, like that's why I say like threats and stuff. It had so many dislikes and everything, but now that like people that aren't black are saying that, it's like,
oh, I understand now, like that makes sense now.
So it's just annoying, because just like with this whole situation, as you all know about the Black Lives Matter movement like blowing up as much as it did this time, even though it's been around since like forever, it's just now that people are in quarantine, it's like actually making news and people are actually educating themselves on it. But it's like when black people have been saying the same thing for forever, y'all just like bashed us, didn't listen to us. Black women are like the main people like pushing out this information, and then it's like when people like non-black people are posting about it or saying something about it, then everybody's like,
oh my gosh, this is the law, like we're gonna follow just like what this person said.
But it's like black women have been doing that for forever. They have been giving information. People are always getting information from black women. Expect black women to educate them on everything. It's just crazy to me how when somebody of a lighter complexion and a looser curl pattern says something, it's like, oh, this is law, like this is written in stone now. But it's like this is the same thing black women have been saying for forever. but y'all don't listen to us. We're seen as aggressive or violent or a mad black woman. So that's like kind of what annoys me about like how commentary YouTubers are like blowing up now. And it's like, I have literally been filming videos since I was like 13. When I started my channel, it was like beauty and this and that, but it's like I eventually turned into like talking about topics that I cared about and stuff. And like I said, with the whole racism thing, people did not want to hear what I had to say, but now it's like trendy to be like, oh, Black Lives Matter, like listen to black people. But it's like, oh, when we said this a few years ago, y'all were saying we were mad black women, but now it's like,
listen to black people, amplify black voices.
And it's like, bitch, y'all weren't doing that. Like, where was that energy a few years ago? Because y'all talking about educating yourself. Where was the energy a few years ago? It's really like annoying hearing it. And like, yes, good people are finally changing their ways and like helping us, but how much is actual help and how much is just performative help? Like I was saying with the whole like allyship and stuff, people are very tone deaf about what they're saying because they claim to be this and that, but then they post like problematic black people. Like, I have always supported black businesses. This isn't a trend for me because I've been black since I've been in the world, and it's always just been a part of like supporting black people, talking about these issues. That's how my parents raised me, that you speak up for what you believe in, and that's just how I've always been. So it's not a trend for me. Like I was saying with the whole like performative activism and stuff, this is what really has been like getting on my nerves lately, because you can tell that people are being so performative about it and like using Breonna Taylor as like captions and stuff. And I'm like, this woman was a real woman. She lost her life. People are like using her name as like a caption, and they're like, anyways, Breonna Taylor, like this and that. I'm like, this is like a real thing. And people are just like, oh, like hashtag this, hashtag that, I'm gonna repost this stuff, but then like aren't actually using their privilege to help black people. People are not doing their research when they're reposting stuff or supporting stuff or donating to stuff. I'm like, that shows how lazy you are and that you aren't a true ally, because you're just supporting anybody. Like how people support like problematic black people, sexist black people, homophobic, transphobic black people. And I'm like, okay, they're black, but do y'all realize not all black people want to see the betterment of all black people? Believe it or not, there are some black people that we the black community call coons, because they do things to please white people and don't actually want to help black people. But for some reason there's like a disconnect when black people say that. They're like, no, I'm just gonna support any black person. Like, no, that's not what we're trying to say. In particular, I wanted to talk about the Thrasher magazine, because if you all don't know, I'm very heavily into skateboarding, and they posted like a magazine where it's like only black people, like on the front and the back and stuff, but literally out of all the people on the magazine, it was only one black woman and she was on the back. So I'm just like, okay, cute, yeah, whatever, you have black people on your magazine, but like, were you ever going to do this before? Or was it just because of the situation that's been at hand and you want to cater to your black audience to get more money? You see what I'm saying? If you're gonna do something, do it for the goodness of your heart, not just because you just want to make some more money off the black audience, because that's exactly what it seemed like. And then the fact that they have like sexist, homophobic, transphobic black people on their magazine, so you are just putting any black person you can find to make it seem like, oh, we care about black people, but like not actually that they are not helping the black community at all. We're just gonna put them on there because it's a black person. And then only having one black woman, like really there are a lot of black women that skate and that are really good and that should have been on the magazine if you're gonna try to be like, oh, we're so like inclusive and this and that. And I'm not just bashing Thrasher, like just that company. There's a ton of companies like that like, especially after the whole black square thing, which I still am like, why would you post a black square? Like, it's not helping. Actually put your money where your mouth is. Do some research, educate yourself, educate other people, actually make some kind of a difference, not just post a black screen because it takes like 2 seconds to do that and then go back to posting your like summer pictures, like, ooh. I did want to clarify, it seemed like I was really coming for Thrasher and I didn't mean to seem that way. It's just the fact that it seemed very performative, and like they do try and feature like black people and everything in their magazine, but that one just seemed very performative, and the fact that it was only one woman, I think that's what I was more so upset about. But they do, and they are trying to make their company more diverse and everything, so I'm not like throwing them under the bus. I think I still like thrasher, but there are a lot of things they could do differently. And I did want to just say also, this video is not meant to bash people. This isn't to bash people for using their voice, even if they're not doing it like the correct absolute 100 right way, because no one is perfect. But I was just saying, like, if you can clearly tell someone is being performative about something, don't do that. Like, call them out, stop being that way. But there are some people that are using their privilege to help as much as they can. They may not know the right words to say, but they're helping as much as they can. So I wanted to clarify that. It may seem like I was just like coming for everyone in this video, but I just wanted to say that there are ways you can help, and you can research and educate yourself, other people, so that you're making an intersectional difference. But I know people are trying as much as they can, which I appreciate. And I also want to say thank you to all of the allies that actually are helping, and all the Black people that are, of course, using your experience to help make some kind of a difference. So I just wanted to say that. That's just my little ramble as I'm editing this video. But yes, continue. To an extent, because if you're like trying to help but you don't want to educate yourself, you're not really helping, because that's like the whole point of this. Like, all these like non-Black people are like, I'm educating myself, and I'm like, I'm sorry y'all, but like, if this is educating yourself and you're still making all these careless mistakes, aka not doing the work that's needed, like, I think y'all need a new teacher or a new curriculum, because whatever this education is not working. It really should be, if you are genuinely trying to help and be an ally, your information should be accurate. And I know like a lot of people like use me as their source of information, which I do appreciate, and I make sure I'm giving out correct information and I'm intersectional with all of my beliefs. But like, if I'm your only source of information on Instagram, like the only Black person you follow that's giving correct information, again, you need to reevaluate you and diversifying your feed, because you shouldn't just have one go-to Black person that is giving correct information. You should be following a lot of different, specifically Black women, because they are usually the main ones that give correct information that's intersectional for everyone. Maybe that's just me being biased and stuff, but I feel like Black men usually do not care about Black women. And then again, this is all like can be taken differently, because some Black women don't care about Black women either. But for the most part, like, the women that I follow are Black, Indigenous women of color, and most of them are intersectional and talk about the betterment of specifically Black women and just women in color in general. I don't know about y'all, but like, my feed has always been very diverse, and like I said, this isn't just a trend for me, this is my life. It's something that I practice daily. And I know, like, actually one time specifically, okay, so I don't want to give too many details, but let's just say I was voting for someone, and one of the candidates was a Black woman and the other candidate was a white man. And I was like saying like, I like the way that he presented his presentation, but I am torn because I liked hers too, and she's a Black woman, so I would love to support her. And one of my previous friends was like, I love your dedication. And I was like, what do you mean? And they were saying like, oh, like, you talk about your this and that, but then you actually do it in real life too. And I'm just like, do people not do this? Like, do y'all just post on Instagram just to post on Instagram? Like, that's what you're supposed to be doing. If you're saying you're about something, you need to be about it in real life. Like, if you about it, be about it. So it just like blew my mind how it was like,
oh, you actually, like, that's how you actually live your daily life. Like, you really support like women of color. Like, wow.
If you're claiming to be an ally, you should always be doing that. You should always be thinking, how can I be more sustainable? How can I be a better ally? How can I be a better person? Like, that's how you should be every single day of your life. And that's why the world is in as many shambles as it's in, because a lot of people are selfish and don't think about that kind of stuff. I know that I think about that every day. Like, how can I be better? How can I support good brands that give back? How can I support like sustainable brands that try as hard as they can to like eliminate waste and stuff? Like, that's the kind of thing you should be thinking about every single day. Hopefully this video will help y'all realize that, and if you're posting this stuff on Instagram, you need to be having that energy just as much in person. Like, when you're having these conversations, you should be having difficult conversations with people. You should be donating, you should be protesting, you should be doing whatever you can to make a difference. The privilege people have to be non-black allies, where they're just like, oh, I can post this and that, and like that's the end of it. Like, that's just that. They can post that and then they can go back to their privileged lives. And it's just like, not that you have to sit and sulk every single day, but it's like people need to realize like this is our life. Like, whenever we wake up, we're black. Whenever we do anything, we have to think about, okay, how will this affect us? Like, am I doing the right thing? Am I gonna be able to make it home today? Like, these are the kind of things that black people have to think about all the time. I think that's the thing that's like getting on my nerves the most, is like so many non-black people keep making jokes about stuff, and I'm like, this is not your problem to joke about. Like I said, I do appreciate that there are so many non-black people like using their privilege to help, and I want them to continue doing that, but I'm like, y'all also need to realize when y'all are reposting stuff, how this is making your black followers feel, if you have any, because I don't know, some of y'all might not even have any black friends or anything. And also, you shouldn't use your black friends as like your token to get you out of racism, because you probably still are racist if you have a token black friend. It really gets on my nerves seeing like non-black people post like jokes and stuff specifically for black people, because I know me and my sister were having this conversation of how social media has given non-black people a look into our world that they have never had. They were always trying to know more about our lives, and now that we have social media, it's like you can see like the kind of jokes we make, the kind of music we listen to, just like things that like black people can relate to. And now it's like non-black people are trying to like accept that as their culture too, and I'm like, no, you can rally for us, you can stand up for us, you can donate to us, but like at the end of the day, do not say like us, because you're not black. Like, you are an ally, you're a non-black ally. Like, I don't know why that's so hard. Again, the disconnect, togetherness and stuff, but like at the end of the day, you need to see people's color, because that's something that's important to people. Like, when people are like, I don't see color, like, no, I want you to see that I'm a black woman. I want you to see that, but I don't want it to be a reason that you treat me differently, you know? I guess like kind of my last-ish thing I want to talk about was cancel culture. I know a lot of people are saying like we need to cancel culture, and this is where I kind of disagree, because cancel culture, what it's supposed to be, I think is good, but people don't do it how it's supposed to be done, which means it doesn't work as effectively as it should. Because if you don't know, cancel culture is like when somebody does something and then you just like completely just cancel them because they don't need a platform or deserve a platform, which I think is good in theory. People will fight tooth and nail for these people to keep being in the limelight and say that they're not wrong and this and that, and I think that's where cancel culture doesn't really work. They're like, just because a person made one mistake doesn't mean they need to be canceled. I'm like, that's where I disagree. I know like some people clearly are not grown adults, but like for the most part, people that are making these mistakes are grown adults. I'm sorry, but like if you are a grown person and you are up here saying problematic things, you know exactly what you're doing. If you're a child or something and you say something a little bit derogatory or something, it's like, okay, you're a child, that's not right, we're gonna teach you why it's wrong, don't do it again. But if you are a grown person, you have like, you paying bills, or you are a grown person and you know what you're doing, you deserve to be canceled if you do something problematic, especially if you do it more than once. People are like, well, people learn, they grow, they change. This is just my opinion. I feel like people don't change. The only reason people change is because they are changing so that they get more money. That's just me though, because I feel like people don't change on their own will unless they genuinely want to change. But most of the time, these people that we're trying to cancel with cancel culture are people that are not changing. They're just like, oh, my funds are getting a little bit low. Let me be like, oh, hashtag Black Lives Matter, hashtag Breonna Taylor. Like, they'll do that kind of stuff so they can get their like revenue back up. but they don't actually mean it. So that's why I feel like sometimes cancel culture does work if we did it the right way. Like, for example, R. Kelly, we need to cancel him because he is very problematic. He doesn't care about the black community, clearly, because he was preying on black girls. So like that kind of, like those kind of people, we need to cancel those kind of people. And I'm just like, you're not gonna like change and learn and grow from this. You're just gonna be like, oh, my funds are getting a little bit low. That's another thing I wanted to talk about, how like non-black people keep telling black people how we should react to things. Like especially how like all of the violent protests and stuff, which really were started by like cops and stuff and like non-black people. But that's a different topic. I mean, like, people react how they will react. And like Martin Luther King Jr. said, rioting is the voice of the unheard. So don't tell black people how they should react to things. Like, that's my biggest pet peeve. Like, people are like, well, this is how you should have reacted and this and that. I'm like, I will react how I want to react, because black people have been put down for so many years without any kinds of like reparations. So if people want to react how they want to react, that's how they're going to react. I mean, don't tell black people how we should feel about things, and don't tell black people how we need to forgive people, because they especially wrong the black community. Don't tell us we need to be forgiving them because they give some kind of BS excuse or BS apology, and it's just like, it's not even a genuine one. They just want more money. That just gets on my nerves when people do that, and I'm like, that's why I feel like cancel culture has not really done as well as it could have, because people don't actually want to cancel people. And there are a ton of people that should be canceled, but they're like, no, they're gonna learn and grow. I'm like, y'all have been learning and growing for like a long time, so when are you actually gonna get to getting? Like, when is there gonna be action? Okay, so I think those were mainly all the topics I wanted to talk about. I have like them all written on my phone, but I just want to say one last thing before my camera like runs out of space. People talking about returning to normal. There should not be a return to normal, because that's insinuating that your normal is a bubble of privilege and that you don't talk about issues like this. So instead of returning to normal, we need to be moving forward to a more inclusive future and helping each other and supporting good black people. Not just any black person, but supporting good black people and just respecting people. Like, it's really not that hard to just be nice to people, you know what I mean? Like, it's really not that hard. And also, more companies need to put black people in executive positions. If y'all want to talk about inclusivity and diverse and blah blah blah, put black people in executive positions. And on that note, I will end this video because my camera is like flashing at me. I hope you continue to try and make a difference in the world. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Have a great day or night, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.